Minister, you have the data about, I mean, correct me if my data is not as relevant as you have it in the public sector and the ministry, but what is out there is that about 6.7 million metric tons of rice is what Nigeria consumes annually. And rice is perhaps the most popular and most consumed staple food in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Out of the 6.7 million metric tons, it is seen as the fact that Nigeria has a deficit of about 3 million metric tons annually in terms of producing what we eat or what we consume.
For rice?
It's been said for rice, we said to have been to be producing about 57% of that 6.7 million metric tons that we consume as a people. So with that deficit, the question I'd like to ask, Minister, over the last 1 year, how much of rice production specifically has Nigeria been able to produce?
Well, I like to speak the truth. And if I give you a specific figure now, I'll be lying. But I want to make a pledge to you that based on what I know, we have gone very far in meeting our demands in this country. Because the local rice that is being produced is sufficient. Because we are not just producing for rainy season, we are producing during the dry season. And this effort has been stepped up.
Are you saying, so if we are consuming 6.7, that means you are... well, I
don't know where you are quoting this figure from, but I know we have a figure, and on the basis of that figure, as far as rice is concerned,
that we are self-sufficient.
We have gone beyond this particular figure you are talking about.
That we are self-sufficient.
Yes, but what has happened is the fact that our taste board has preference for imported one based on the processing. But that is changing in the sense that many people are now at home more with the local, rice that is being produced, because we now have grown the number of feed mills, rice mills that are actually processing Nigerian rice.
So I'd like to take you up quickly on that. I mean, I'd like to know what government figures are right now, because it's a popular, just like the consumption of oil, and you know the debate when you were senator, when we talk about the consumption of fuel daily, there's been a lot of disparity. Government will say absolutely, this is what we consume. There are those who say no, we never are able to consume that
amount of.
But 6.7 million, or in the average about 6 million metric tons of rice is what Nigeria is said to consume. But Minister,
unfortunately, if I had come in with my phone, I would have quickly checked the data.
Okay. Right. It's okay if you can get back to us on those things, because it's going to be important. But
let me make this clarification.
We want to be food sufficient.
Yes, but let me make this clarification. You see, let us not forget, Nigeria has 6 agroecologies. Each of these agroecologies, we have facts that shows clearly that there are preferences in terms of their food choices. But one thing that is certain is that we also know crops or commodities that are across board, from Lagos to Kano to Maiduguri, all across. You see, when you talk about wheat, when you talk about rice, when you talk about maize, when you talk about, cowpea, this crops, for example, and you may add yam and even cassava or cassava products. All of these commodities are significant across the agroecologies in different categories. So what we have done is, in terms of our priority, we have prioritized all of these, our food security crops, as what we are focusing on. The next AP is clearly on that track. Our programming in the ministry are clearly on that track.